Look at the huge blue sky, said Violet Alden. She snapped photos through the window of the shuttle van. Violet was 10, and she loved to paint and photograph beautiful things. Her 12-year-old sister, Jessie, sat next to her. She looked out the window over Violet's shoulder. I've never seen so much blue sky either. It seems to go on forever, she said. That's why people call Montana Big Sky Country, said Henry. Violet and Jessie's older brother sat behind his sisters. He was reading from a brochure he had picked up at the airport. Henry was 14 and liked to learn all he could about things. It looks like we're getting close to the Hell Creek Formation. Paleontologists from around the world come to study the fossils that are found there. Elliot's ranch must be close too, said Jessie. It will be fun to join him on this dinosaur dig. The Aldens were going to visit Elliot Boyce, a paleontologist who was a friend of their grandfather's. Hell Creek Formation was once home to thousands of dinosaurs, said Henry, and their bones have been found all throughout this area, including T-Rex bones. I hope we find a T-Rex, said Benny. Or maybe we'll find a dinosaur that nobody has ever seen before. Benny was 6 years old, the youngest of the Alden children. He was always excited about new adventures. James Alden looked back at his 4 grandchildren from the front passenger seat. I wouldn't be surprised if you had a dinosaur named after you, Benny, he said. You children never fail to amaze me. The 4 Alden children smiled at their grandfather. When their parents died, they had run away and lived in a boxcar in the woods. They knew that they had a grandfather, but they had heard that he was mean. When grandfather finally found them, they learned that he was a very nice man. They went to live with him, along with Watch, the dog they had rescued while they lived in the boxcar. Grandfather had a big house in Greenfield, Connecticut. He also had a big backyard and moved the boxcar there for the children to play in. Watch leaped onto Henry's lap and started barking at something outside the window. Henry laughed as he rescued his brochure. What do you see, Watch? He asked. It's a herd of bison, exclaimed Violet. She took photos of the grazing animals. There are all kinds of wildlife that live in Montana, said Henry. In fact, Montana might have more animals than people. And some of those animals were huge, said Benny. Like an Apatosaurus. You're right about that, Benny, said Jessie. It's fun to think about dinosaurs out there grazing, just like that herd of bison. The driver pulled the van into the parking lot of a large wooden building with a big sign. Hogan's Museum and Diner, said Benny, carefully pronouncing each word. Benny was just learning how to read big words. He loved to practice by reading signs. This is where we're supposed to meet Elliot, said Jessie. The Aldens unloaded their bags and waved goodbye to the shuttle driver. Just then, a young man with curly red hair and a scraggly beard approached them. He smiled when he saw Grandfather Alden and held out his hand. James! My goodness, it has been a long time. He and Grandfather shook hands. Yes, it has, Elliot, said Grandfather. I haven't seen you since you graduated from college. Violet shyly studied Elliot. He was wearing muddy work clothes, which Violet thought was an odd way to dress in public. You've never met my grandchildren, said Grandfather. He introduced Henry, Jessie, Violet, and Benny to Elliot, and Elliot shook each by the hand. It's very nice to meet you, said Elliot. Same here, said Benny. When will we start digging dinosaur bones? Let's go in the diner for some lunch first, said Elliot, laughing. Then we can visit my dig. It'll be fun to show you my exciting find, but we should eat first. Lunch is a great idea, said Benny. I like to dig for dinosaurs, but I also like to eat. Thank you, Elliot, said Jessie, laughing. Lunch sounds like a good idea.